Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Ask Canada Immigration Lawyer podcast. I'm Evelyn Ackah, and today I have the pleasure of having on our podcast my friend and colleague, Remzi KulEn. Hello, Remzi.
Hi, Evelyn. How are you?
Good. Thank you so much for joining me. I know you are in New York, correct?
That is right. In the heart
Okay.
of Manhattan, yes.
Awesome. So I want to give a little bio about you so people know more about your U.S. immigration background. So Remzi is the managing attorney with with Kulin Law Firm based in New York. And he is a U.S. immigration lawyer with a practice focusing on business immigration and employment-based immigration. He does everything from investor visas, green card pathways, complex USCIS applications, and he works with entrepreneurs and investors and highly skilled professionals to help them move into the United States so they can pursue their business and personal goals. So, Remzi, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks so much for having me.
I'm
It's
excited
great
to
to
have
be in your
you.
podcast. Thank
Well,
you.
thank you. Thank you so much. So, listen, I always love to start with give us a background. Give me a few minutes of who you are,
Mhm.
how you got into doing immigration law. I just always love the journey that people have.
Yeah, I went to law school in Turkey, and then I came here as an LLM student in 1999. I
Hmm.
went to LLM. At that time, nobody around me knew how to, take the bar exam or go to law school here. So it was very difficult, and there was not enough information around. But I knew that if I've taken certain courses, I could have passed, and I could have taken the New York bar exam. So that's what I did, and I passed.
Smart.
And suddenly, I wanted to stay here. I was interning at a law firm, and they were interested in sending me back to Turkey, not because they wanted me to open an office, but they wanted me to be their satellite over there. So I was going to send cases
Ah,
to them. They were going to send cases to me. But after I passed the bar exam, I was like, okay, I can always go back to Turkey. Why don't I stay here for a while and see what happens? So I started working. Um, I worked at different law firms. I did different things. My passion was maritime law. That was my master's
wow.
degree at Tulane University. I interned at a maritime law firm in Turkey.
Huh.
But the year I graduated, 2000, dot-com crisis hit the US. And I don't know how, but all of those maritime law firms shrunk and they got smaller and smaller and smaller. I think I've gotten like 400 or 450 rejection letters from different law
Oh
firms
my
saying
God.
saying that they're not interested in me. So most of the people around me went back to their country. I said, I'm gonna try more. I'm a little stubborn in those things, so
Good.
I stayed, and then I started working at a litigation law firm. I was in front of a judge at the age of 25. Uh, it was very scary. I didn't like it. I didn't the fact that I was fighting with people in front of a judge, not my thing. I didn't like it. And then I got fired from that job because I was the biggest expense of the company with $35,000 salary. Uh, so then I worked at a textile company
Wow.
because I couldn't find a job as a lawyer. So there, I learned about the intricacies of business. How do
Hmm.
you import from China? What is a textile business? I stayed there for a year and a half, and I attribute most of my business background and knowledge of understanding of business to that kind of training, so to speak.
Hmm.
And then the immigration law firm I hired to work at the textile company, after they saw my resume, they immediately offered me a job. What are you doing at a textile company? Come back and work as an immigration lawyer. And I said, I don't want to be an immigration lawyer, so I'm not going to accept your offer. So I refused the offer and went and worked for the textile company. A year and a half passes, and people around me say, Remzi, you're an immigration attorney. What are you doing? I'm sorry, you're an attorney. What are you doing at a textile company? I'm like, because I want to be a maritime lawyer. If not, I want to be a corporate lawyer. I don't want to be an immigration lawyer. And one of my friends put some senses in me. He said, can you please look around? Everybody around you is an immigration lawyer, and
Yeah.
you're saying that you don't want to be an immigration lawyer. How come? So
Yeah.
that kind of changed something in my vision. I called that, uh, my previous boss, and
Yeah.
I told her, 18 months ago, you offered me a job. Does that still exist?
Oh my
So,
God.
and then she hired me. That's how I started immigration. This was 2003.
That's
I
great.
stayed at that firm for about 5 years, did a lot of business cases, family cases, always stayed on course,
Yeah.
business, family,
Business. Yeah.
and then opened up my own practice in 2009. Right now, we are a boutique firm. We have about 15 people,
Yeah.
and we help individuals and companies with their immigration matters. Again, staying on the business immigration and family immigration side.
That's so great. I love that journey. I love that because that's how life is, right? You don't know what
Yeah,
you're going to do. And then I was going to be a corporate, no, I was going to be a litigator. And then just like you, I hated the conflict. I hated the how long everything took. I was not didn't feel good. And then I became a corporate lawyer for a couple years, and I wasn't loving that either because I was not having the same client contact that I really like to have, the personal connections. And then I became a business immigration lawyer. So we kind of our careers go like this, and then you find the thing that makes you happy, that gives you a sense of purpose. So since you've been doing this, what are you seeing right now in your practice, Remzi? Like what kind of high level new information or challenges or, updates that are affecting you and your clients? Anything that's like front and center right
I've I've never seen this much commotion
now?
since I've started doing this. I mean, my boss used to say there is there's not a dull moment in immigration, and
It's
I
true.
if she saw these days, she would have been like, "Wow, I understated myself," because that's an understatement. Because I mean, look at the things that we're going through right now. Every Friday, I look at
Yeah.
4:30, 5 p.m. I look at the news if there's anything new from this administration about
Mhm.
immigration. Right? A few weekends were spoiled because of their announcements. So,
The changes for the
um,
sponsorship process, right?
adjustment of status
Adjustment of status.
applications,
Yeah.
$100,000 H-1B fee. So, you do this long enough, and then you say, you know what? You don't say this cannot happen.
Yeah.
It can happen. Because for them to announce something, it doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to have any basis in law. They just announce it and then they see
Announce
what happens. They look at the reactions. So in that sense, it's a crazy roller coaster ride in that sense. And
it.
I think this is the year that I've been working the most throughout my career, and
Wow.
it has to do with with these updates. And I'm trying to keep up to date because I have a social media presence. I have Instagram,
Yeah.
I have YouTube, and once you start, you
Yeah.
cannot stop. Like you have to be in it. You have to update your clients. You have to update the followers. So yeah, it's crazy. Am I loving it? I mean, I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining, but it is crazy. There's
Yeah.
a lot of unpredictability. We know that immigration is like a boat which gets waves from different sides, and then it's gonna settle. It takes time, but most of the clients we work with, they don't, because this is the first time they're doing it or they're not
Yes.
used to it. So they're very excited. You have to calm them down. I think if I became a prime minister or something one day, I'm gonna put psychology courses in law schools for the first 2 years, and they're
I
gonna be
think
a mandatory.
I think that's a great idea, actually, because that makes perfect sense to me. Because we spend so much of our time feeling like therapists, don't we? Like
Yes,
we're
yes, that
always
is
like,
entirely correct.
yeah, we're always listening, and they're upset, and they're depressed, and they're emotional, and it's just trying to keep them balanced and looking at the long-term picture and not just the quick fix, right? But
Definitely.
it is I think that's a great idea, actually. I would love that if we learned that. I never took psychology in university, so yeah. So tell me a little bit about like your ideal client files. What are the things that you love to do the most, Remzi, in immigration?
I love E2 cases.
Do you?
E2, I do. And I don't know if it's because I worked at that textile company for a year and a half and I know how business works
Yeah.
and I understand the business aspect of it. I know how to explain it to a consulate officer or an immigration officer.
Hmm.
There were times where client thought that the case was going to be denied or
Yeah.
refused, we were able to explain it in a very nice way and put it in such a way that the consular officer and the immigration officer would understand. So I
Hmm.
love structuring those kinds of cases. I love creating arguments for them.
Yeah.
Um, I do love extraordinary ability cases. I think
Ah.
those are great cases because every artist is a different area and you learn so many new things. I love working with researchers,
Hmm.
and also H-1Bs and perms. I think what I like about them is, perm, you have to be very punctual. So, and I'm very punctual in my own life.
Yeah.
So I think it suits me. It's the form that get scared the most in my life, 9089 perm application, because you
Mhm.
put a dot wrong and then they're gonna deny the case.
Yeah.
But 98% approval rate in those cases for
Great.
us, for our law firm is a great accomplishment. So
Yeah.
I think that's my personality. I
Those are,
find to be happy in something, in everything that I do. So I
yeah.
think I know I listed the whole visa application, but these are the things I like the most. And also I like helping families. That's the other thing. Like if I
Yes.
were an immigration lawyer on the business side mostly, and I was not helping I-130 485 clients, I wasn't prepping them for the green card interview. I wasn't
Yeah.
teasing them during the interview. Like, tell me the truth. How many times you got married? I can see it in the records. It's the second time. So that you have to see their faces. So I think I like that aspect of it too, the human touch,
Yeah. Yeah.
I just love it. And I think it's a great um, feeling
Yes.
that I like what I do, because in network meetings, I see some lawyers, they really don't like what they're doing.
Oh.
And one of them was so surprised that really like what I'm doing after 25 years. And he said, you know what? That's a blessing. You should be very
Hmm.
happy about it, because most
Hmm.
lawyers, they just do it for the money. That's what he said. So I was like, okay, I'm going to appreciate this. I'm
Well,
not going to take it for granted.
it seems like you found your calling. Like I feel the same. I feel like even though we all have days of frustration and disappointment or occasional refusals and things like that, at the end of the day, for me, just like you probably, it's the client happiness. Like we just had somebody approved at the port of entry yesterday for an L1A that was challenging, and he was there for hours. He missed his flight, but they approved it at the end of the day. And the gratitude and the appreciation and almost tears because so much was riding on it is what makes me happiest. It feels like you really make a difference in someone's life every day. So that's what I get from it. But I want to ask you about H-1B because
Yeah.
are people still even doing them? Like, is this
Yeah.
the thing with the
It,
changes
it,
and
it is it is a thing, because the $100,000 fee is about to expire in September, and last week a court struck down the $100,000 fee. We
right.
still don't know how USCIS is going to react to it. I didn't see any announcement from Ayla yet
Yeah,
as to whether people are filing and not getting the invoices. I'm kind of holding all of my cases,
yeah,
consular cases, to the end of June
okay.
before the deadline, to
Yeah.
see if we can get some kind of an indication. But yes, H-1B is still a thing. It was very useful. The $100,000 fee was very useful, especially for students who are already in the US or switching status.
Who have the
Change.
money or the
No,
company?
a hundred
Company?
thousand $100,000 doesn't
Oh, it
apply
doesn't apply to the
to
student
people
who did
who
their
are
master's.
changing their status in the US.
Oh,
It's only
excellent.
for consular applications, right?
Okay.
So in that sense, it was really good for the students this year.
Yeah.
They were getting selected in the H-1B quota more. They had their chances this year. So we'll see how it goes. But I'm happy to report I have a client who paid the $100,000 fee. He was selected. He paid the $100,000 fee. I have another one. He's like, oh, for this guy, $100,000 fee is nothing. So I'm gonna pay. So I have these interesting people
Interesting.
who think that H-1B is worth. Well, this person actually that they're gonna hire is worth that money. But
Mm-hmm.
obviously, for many many other small businesses, it is impossible.
Mm-hmm.
I'm especially so sad for nonprofits, for
Oh, yeah.
universities, for hospitals. I mean, they should have been exempted. They have not been exempted. But we'll
Mhm.
see. Maybe this court striking down the $100,000 fee It's going to be effective immediately. And maybe they're not going to extend it in September, seeing the outcry. But
Yeah.
for now, we have to live with what we have.
Unbelievable. I mean, one thing that's so different from Canada is in the US, you get RFEs that are like pages and pages and pages long. We don't really, we get a refusal that says doesn't meet the criteria or whatever. We don't have an RFE process in Canada.
Really?
No, we don't. We don't. You can do something called a reconsideration and you just send something through the portal web form, like it's like a little email, but there's no 12-page
Mechanism?
RFE process. No way. It's yes
But if
or no.
something, that's interesting. So if
You can
something gets
appeal.
denied,
Yeah.
yeah, I understand, but if something gets denied, do they tell you why?
Sometimes they do like a visa, if it's a visa application, a visitor visa, they'll say, we don't believe you're going back, or we don't believe your intentions or whatever. So but it's an automated like drop down kind of thing. And it is one
Mm,
page, one page. That's it. And so then you use that and you can obviously do like a FOIA or in Canada's access to information request to see if you can find out some more before you might want to
that's
reapply. But
that doesn't sound right.
that's how it works, or else you have to appeal and litigate, and we don't do that. We have partners who, do any kind of judicial reviews or appeals.
Mm.
But I wanted to ask you about RFEs. I mean, what are you seeing? Are they getting worse? Are they the same?
Yeah, they're getting worse, and immigration is using AI now. So,
Yeah, same with Canadian immigration.
like, you're like, wow, this RFE is amazing. Who wrote that? It's like things that you
AI.
you haven't seen before.
Yeah,
Um, I like, well, I like the fact that they are sending an RFE instead of denying the case.
refusal. Yeah,
First, let me tell you that because RFE gives you a chance for you to explain yourself. And I
yes,
think it's a very fundamental part of the immigration process
yeah,
because sometimes it's a good RFE, sometimes it's a bad RFE. They didn't get it. So I
yeah.
don't mind going back and explaining one more time what I have submitted.
Hmm.
So I think RFEs are great tools for explaining yourself to the officer. We are
Hmm.
getting more H-1B
Oh,
RFEs, more I-140 RFEs, more E-2 RFEs.
oh my God.
NIW, National Interest Waiver, RFEs have gotten crazy because they changed the rules in the middle of the game. So let's say we filed the case in 2024.
Hmm.
It's taking 16 to 18 months for them to take a look at the case.
Hmm.
And come January 2025, they come up with a memo we think, which we think is a great memo. Turns out they changed the whole system and they are adjudicating all of the cases, even filed before, according to that memo. So, and then
Mm.
for us to understand this, we had to see 5 or 6 RFEs. And I'm like, where is this coming from? Like they didn't ask this before. So that was a whole learning process. And I wish they said something like, okay, we're gonna apply this memo from to all cases from the state. That immigration never does that.
Doesn't
So
happen.
no,
Yeah.
you just follow the trends. You have to have a lot of cases to understand what's going on. But yeah, more RFEs, more questions, more AI in the RFEs. But at the end
Hmm.
of the day, if you understand the gist of it, if you really can read what it says, because sometimes it's a template. Like if you're
Hmm.
reading it for the first time, you don't get it. But if
Yeah.
you if you have if you've had enough of these and if you know what they're saying, then you can really respond to them.
And give them what they
So
want. Yeah.
exactly. And I wish they were applying the preponderance of evidence test, but we always try to go 95% or 110% in RFEs.
Yeah.
Although it's preponderance of evidence, we still have to explain everything. But
Hmm.
I'd rather have an RFE than a denial.
Yeah.
So I
So
don't
what percentage would you say of RFEs lead to approvals versus, like that's a hard thing because I know for clients and
yeah,
if we work together, refer clients to you in the future, it's like people always, and then of course there's extra fees for the clients and this and this and this. But I
yeah.
always wonder how many of those turn into approvals.
I think I was keeping real statistics on this, but now I don't in the last few
Yeah.
years. But I know that in the H-1B, for example, it was close to 90, 92
Wow.
percent and
That's
in all the
amazing.
other all the other cases above 95%. So even
Wow.
if we do get an RFE, we are able to respond to it properly. And the reason the rate is a little lower on the H-1B is because of crazy applications of law, especially during the first Trump administration. Like
Yeah.
market research analyst is not an H-1B position, for example. It's not a specialty occupation. They overturned that decision 2 years later, and I contacted my client. Remember the case? We
Yeah.
fought very well, and it got denied. There's a court decision now. We can apply and get the H-1B visa just with one letter. And the guy goes, "I moved on. I'm
Oh,
with a
of
different
course.
company."
Yeah.
So
I know. Sometimes timing is everything, right? It's
yeah.
the law changes and then it doesn't. Um, what about citizenship now with all of these conversations about naturalized citizens versus those born in the States? Have you seen any changes?
Not really. Except for the fact that if you're filing the naturalization now, you're subject to the 128 questions instead of the 100 questions. I don't know what they accomplished by doing that. They were also they were also talking about neighborhood investigations, where you have to show that you're a good person, and
Mm,
they're gonna ask to your neighbors or the people in the community whether you're a good person. I haven't seen that happening. Just
wow.
like a lot of things that they say and they don't do, there is
Mm.
no real implementation or implication. It's going pretty well. People are getting naturalized, so I'm happy to report.
They're still getting naturalized and they're not being deported and
No, no.
all of this. I
Well,
remember there was talk about like people that were naturalized citizens somehow being losing it, or there's all these chitter chatter about.
I think, the biggest idea of this administration's immigration program is to create an atmosphere of fear
Yeah.
so that people don't come or people leave.
Mm,
Um, After the adjustment of status memo, I shot a video on my Instagram channel for 14 minutes. I was very tired, 4 p.m. on a Friday night. My phone is ringing. There's a lot of
yeah.
emails. So I had to say something. I never put videos for 14 minutes in Instagram, but I had to go there and do it because I had to say something. So
Yeah.
after I shot that video, I met with a friend and went to a restaurant. It was a
Yeah.
Turkish restaurant.
Oh,
So
great.
we walked in, everybody's looking at me. I'm like, whoa. And then
You're a
the
celebrity, Remzi.
minor, Evelyn, minor celebrity. Yeah. So so we finished our dinner, and the waitress came to me and said, Remzi, I really tried my best to stop asking you questions, but you had your dinner, so I have a lot of
Oh.
questions.
You should
So
have watched the video.
yeah, she watched the video. That's
And so
why
she had more
she had a lot
questions.
of course, because they thought that I looked very sad and I looked very stressed out. And we watched you and we think that everything is gonna go bad. I'm like, no,
Oh,
I didn't say that. I actually said exactly the opposite. So I had to shot another video to tell them that everything is correct, and I mean everything is going to be okay, and just
okay.
wait and don't panic.
Yeah.
And I'm shooting this video because of that lady in the Turkish restaurant. That's what it
Yeah. You're so funny. Oh my God. I know that you and I both do a lot of social media and that's the way we people find you, especially we have a similar size firm. We have 15, 16 people. Um, how have you found, business? So let's shift to like the entrepreneur side of being a lawyer,
is.
but also managing attorney, running your own firm. How important has creating this online presence been for your business?
I think it's been instrumental. The time I started was during COVID.
Oh,
We got locked up on March 18. I never forget the date. March 18, 2020.
mm-hmm.
We were talking about it. I was in 3 different states in a week, going from interview to interview. But with
Yeah,
COVID, everything cut like that,
yeah.
right? So I'm sitting at home. I'm like, okay, what are we doing right now? Like I finished my emails. I reviewed the cases. So what am I doing? There's no commute. There is no going
Yeah,
to interviews at different states. So I started shooting the videos, and my first video was broadcasted April 4th, 2020. I never forget the date. Now that I look at it, it's hideous. Like I
Of
can't watch
course,
myself.
you can't
Yes.
watch, you can't go backwards.
No. But at that time, it was good because there was a lot of miscommunication. There was a lot of misinformation, and people were at home watching videos. So I
Hmm.
think coincidentally, the time that we went on was great, and then
Yes,
people started watching it, and then I felt like I owe this to the community because I know and they don't know, and there's a lot of misinformation. Let
yes.
me get to the source of it. Let me get the correct information and disseminate. So once you start doing that with good faith and without any expectations,
Hmm.
um, people start liking you. People start following you. People start asking you questions. They get engaged.
Yeah,
And I liked it. It's very difficult because it has to be a part of your life. It has to be your second nature to be able to
yeah,
talk, and at the same time, you have to find time for it. And and I know how many times we wanted to cancel that video shoot at 3
yes,
p.m. or 4 p.m. because there's a lot of pressing things. But you still do that and you still do this
yeah,
by sacrificing from yourself. It's not that you don't do the job because you're shooting the video. You do the video and then you
yes.
do the job,
And
and
you do
people
the
don't
job.
understand it.
Yeah,
Like that
yeah.
one time, a client of mine. This is one of my favorite stories. One time, a client of mine calls. He has a question. He says it's urgent. Of course, it's not
Of
urgent.
course,
And
it's
then
always urgent to them.
it's not really urgent. I mean, there are some urgent questions, but this was not urgent. So he goes, I have a question. And my assistant goes, okay, he's not available right now. And then he goes, I know he's in the YouTube live video. Why doesn't he stop that video and take the call? Because I'm his client.
Oh my
So
God.
I still get back to the guy, and I still talk to him. And most people don't realize maybe that it is really difficult to do. I mean, there are some people who started this and couldn't continue because it takes a
No,
lot from you. So
it
it's a
does.
lot of dedication. I admire people like you who
Aw,
actually day after day do this. And it's what we're trying to do is give information,
give
and
information, educate.
that's
Yeah,
always been my goal. And I know a lot of people who watch me don't even work with me,
yeah.
but I still answer their questions. I still do the live. I still respond to 60 to 80 questions
Oh
in an
my
hour
gosh, Remzi.
in a YouTube live. So I enjoy doing it. As
Yeah,
long as I enjoy it, I'm gonna do it because I think this is giving back to the community.
it is
But
giving back.
but then it also became a very important marketing tool, and I didn't realize that until about maybe 2 3 years after I started this, people started coming back to
Yes.
me from the videos. Like
Yeah.
I've seen your videos for the last 5 years. This is the reason I'm in the US, so I want to work with you. I don't want to work with somebody else.
Yeah.
Well, that makes me happy.
That's exactly what it's for. People say that to me. I've been watching you for years, and now I have a thing. And I'm like, wow, it's not a quick hit, for the most part. Or now I'm finding people, we always ask, how did you find us? ChatGPT and all the other AI, it's quite incredible because they're finding the videos and the blogs, and then it leads to now being seen as a subject matter expert. So people out of the blue will find us through LLM or other kind of AI. So I'm sure you're
Yeah,
having the same
and
experience.
let's be honest. I mean, we are the subject matter experts. I haven't done anything else in my life. I
Yeah.
mean, and if you think about it, there are a lot of subsections of immigration law, right?
Yes.
I'm not even saying that I'm doing all the subsections. I'm
Me
saying
neither.
that I know a few subsections very well. And if you're coming to me for something that I don't know, I'm going to refer to you. I'm
Exactly.
going to refer you to somebody else. So I think what makes this beautiful. As long as you excel in one field, you go deeper, 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 and you
Yeah.
realize you can help more people. That makes
Yes.
me very happy.
Oh, I love your philosophy. I love how you operate, because
Thank
I
you.
think I think people recognize value and they recognize true integrity, We're not out there in fancy pink suits or other kind of flashy doing all the, we're not doing that.
I have a
We're
pink
not
shirt.
we're not
Evelyn.
selling fear, That's the other thing. We're selling
Yeah,
hope and what's real. Because I always tell
that
clients,
is
like,
yes.
listen, this is not an easy case. I always tell them this is 50-50. or, if it's something that I say, oh, 90%, I'll tell you. But if it's not, I tell them as well, so they can make an informed decision, because I want a happy client. And if they still want to go for, even if it's mid level of success, they just want to try, then we document it so they know we're trying, even though my advice might be, I'm not sure, no matter what we do, the facts are the facts, right? And I think people appreciate and respect that honesty, that I don't want an
They do.
unhappy client. I don't want to take your money and not be successful. So you
They
have
do.
you have that same philosophy, I can tell.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's why you're
Yes, I do. Because at the end of the day, if we were Evelyn, if we were in this to do this on over 5 or 10 years, like get the money, get out, it would have been different. I'm
yeah.
not in it for that. I just want
Mhm.
to be in it for a long time. I
Me
just
too.
want to be useful to my clients.
Yeah.
I want people to remember me.
Yeah.
Uh, I want people to say, yes, and this happened to me a few times. Ramsey, I know we lost the case, but I know we did everything we can, so I'm so happy. So don't worry about it. So this is the second best thing you can hear
Yeah.
after congratulations, it's approved. But to be at that level, the trust that you have with your clients, I think,
hmm
what makes me really happy, because I just had a consultation, not a consultation, a follow-up call with a client.
Yeah.
We are responding to the RFE tomorrow.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk to her and see her reaction to the RFE response. I said, "Are you happy with the RFE?" She said, "I think it's amazing." Okay, that's enough for me. This is
Yeah.
what we did. I just wanted to see your reaction, because I don't want you to tell me 2 weeks after we send the RFE, I wish you put it in there, or after
Exactly.
you say the decision, because it's a difficult case. After you say the decision, I don't want you to tell me, we wish we put it. I wish you
No.
asked me. I want to do that now so that you don't
Perfect.
tell me that later, right? So.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's how I think we practice,
Yeah.
both of us.
Yeah.
And yes, we are not millionaires, but we don't
No,
have
we're not.
headaches, and we have happy clients, I think.
Yes, and life is balanced. Like, I like the work we do, because the people, I have so much respect for our colleagues that do deportation, asylum, all of that, because they're up at night, they're going to detention centers, they're doing very different work. And I know myself, I couldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep.
I appreciate them. I don't know how they do it.
Yeah.
But you know what? Some people live for it, like they
Yeah.
love doing it. I never
I
did.
could never.
Uh, but some people are born for it, actually.
Yeah,
So
I think so.
kudos to them.
Yeah, but for
If
us
they
and for you, your ideal clients, Remzi, give me an overview of, like, if people are
Yeah,
wanting
you asked
this.
me this question. I said everything else about not that. So so the idea so ideal client would be, I mean, I love working with uh professional people
Yeah.
who know what their responsibilities are.
Okay.
They ask the right questions, they give us what we want. Of course, not all clients are focused or they are very busy, but if we remind them what we need and they send it to us, that's
Mhm.
great.
Yes.
That's why I like working with young professionals. And
Okay.
also, I'm a small law firm. I
Yeah.
rarely work with HRs, but if there's an HR department, I love working with them, because you want something and it comes along right away. They don't
Exactly.
ask you 100 questions, right?
Hmm
And then I like working with informed people, polite people,
Yes.
who appreciate things. So,
Good.
and I'm not saying that we work with them all the time, but when we find them, we really appreciate them.
Yeah.
And almost every week I get a gift from a client. It's
Isn't
interesting.
that the
I'm going to
best?
show you something.
Yeah.
Look at this. This is this is amazing. Look, this guy
Oh,
has a leather company. Leather.
ooh, nice. A
Yeah. See,
leather
we have
water holder.
exactly, yeah.
Oh
And then
my God.
it
And he
has
branded it for you.
yes, it has a belt too,
Oh,
right? So I get all of this cool stuff
oh, I love
uh, from the
that.
clients, and they're like, "We appreciate you," like so.
Oh, that
I'm
is
not.
so great.
I'm not even counting the sweets and
The
the
wine and yes, I love it. I love it. And that's one thing
yeah.
I do, is when clients appreciate you, it's not like we need the presents, but it's just
No,
nice, the thank you and the I know you did your best. That means so much, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's a show of appreciation,
Yeah.
and I really like it. I started organizing meet and greets
Yeah.
when I go to different cities for interviews.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. 10 to 30 people show up in every
Oh my
city.
God.
And it's like a live Q&A session where they ask, I respond for 2 hours. But you know what? Not everybody is working with me. Some of
Yeah.
them are clients, some of them are not. I love getting to know people. I think
Yeah.
I'm curious in nature, so I love talking to people. I want to know how they came to the US, what's their plan. Is
Yeah.
there anybody that I can introduce you to make things easy for you
Exactly.
networking?
Yeah.
So um, I
Oh, I
think this
love
is one
that.
of the most enjoyable years of my life, I would say.
Oh,
So
what
yeah,
a
every
wonderful
every
thing to
every
hear.
crisis brings other opportunities. You get to
Yes,
know, you get to meet more people. So
it's true. It's true. Well,
can I
Remzi,
ask you,
yeah,
something?
of course.
How is immigration right now in Canada? I mean, this is what we're going through, but how is it in Canada? Is everything fine? Can people
It's
come to Canada?
People, of course, can come to Canada. We have so many Americans right now, Ramsey, trying to claim citizenship, Canadian citizenship, because the law changed in December. So if you
Mm,
can find any family down your chain of ancestry, even if it's like the great, 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 great grandparent, you are eligible for Canadian citizenship. That changed in
wow.
December. So we have had dozens and dozens and dozens of people since January, because it just changed in December, all looking for their genealogy. So we actually have a genealogist that's working as a contractor for us because we don't find papers, we don't go to the registry for them, but he can help them. And once they get all the paperwork, then they're engaging us to do their citizenship applications. And often it's be for a family of 10. It's not just the one person. They all want it for their children and their grandparents and their cousins and their anybody that can track. So that's been the biggest change
To Canada, they can track
to
their
Canada
place.
from
So
anywhere in
what's
the world.
what's the idea behind this to get
It
more
it was
people to
a
Canada?
lawsuit. Well, no, it was a lawsuit
Oh,
because
lawsuit.
we used to only have the first generation rule, which meant that, let's say, my grandfather was born in Canada and then I was born in the US. I could not pass citizenship. I could get that citizenship from my, from the grandfather, but I couldn't pass it to the grandchild. And
Yeah.
so there are some families that sued and said these are called almost lost Canadians because they
Mm,
still were considered Canadian, but they weren't able to get citizenship. So
I see.
people sued the government and they won, and the government just said, that's it, we're gonna let everybody. But right now, it's just, I think it's gonna be for the next year or two, and then I think they're gonna come and create some limits. So everybody
Right.
who's looking now, people go back to Quebec, Ontario, even before Canada was created in 1867. If you can go back and find
Wow.
any evidence, you can be a Canadian citizen. And they're doing it rushed now because who knows in a year or two, policy changes.
What's gonna happen? Yes.
So that's the biggest change that we're dealing with right now. And it's,
Wow. Become a Canadian when you can. I guess that's the
yep,
name of
if
the
you can
campaign.
do it because you
Wow.
never know. And people, it's not necessarily they're all looking to escape the US or wherever or the
No,
UK. It's to have a second passport just in case.
absolutely. Just to have an alternative. You never
Yep.
know.
And even if you
Yeah.
have children that want to go to school in Canada, they can pay regular fees like a Canadian citizen. So there's options and benefits down the line.
So how does the tax work for Americans in Canada? They're not taxed double. It's not double
No,
taxation.
we have a tax treaty. We don't have what you guys have with this worldwide taxing. We don't have
Yeah.
that in Canada. But then
Mm.
if they came to Canada, in order to stop that worldwide taxing, even if they lived in Canada, they'd have to rescind their US citizenship.
Oh, yes, of course.
Otherwise, you're still a US citizen living in another
Yeah.
country. You're still being taxed on
It's interesting.
worldwide income. Yeah.
There was a lot of questions about giving up the green card
Yeah.
because of the problems green card holders was having when they were entering the US. So
Yeah.
I made a video about it. Like
Oh,
one
wow.
of one of the comments below it was, are there really people asking about this? Because I think this guy was getting into the DV lottery every year and not winning. So
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
idea of someone giving up the green card was so foreign to him.
Yes.
I'm like,
Yes.
yeah, people ask for it, and I'm doing it actually. So this is the
Hmm.
reason I did the video. So yeah, renunciation of citizenship actually comes up in more ALA panels
Yeah.
than ever before.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to the Global ALA next week in San Diego. Are you going to the ALA conference? Not this
I
year?
I have a conflict. I'm going to
Okay.
see the soccer games.
Oh, just a little soccer game. Just the World Cup soccer game.
Yeah, yeah.
Good for you. You work hard.
Who knows when I'm gonna be able to see one again? See,
Where are you
it's in the
watching it?
So I'm going to Vancouver for
Oh,
the
that's
first
my
game.
hometown.
Is
Yeah.
it?
That's my
Yeah, I've
hometown.
never been. I'm very excited. So
Oh.
I'm gonna see the second one in San Francisco, the third one in Los Angeles. So it's all West Coast in
Oh
10
my
days.
God, Ramsey. Well, listen, when we get offline, send me an email and I'll give you all the places to eat. And if you have
Yes,
time,
yes.
but before the game, and if you have time to do anything besides soccer, but I'm so excited for you. And
That's
I
great.
want to thank you so much for joining me on my podcast. You are a lovely lawyer and highly, highly reputable. And just I'm looking forward to finding opportunities to work together
Thank you
and
so much.
send
Yes, we
you
will, hopefully.
files that I don't do. Um,
Yes,
and seeing how we can collaborate in the future. So
absolutely.
thank
Absolutely.
you
Thank you so
for,
much for giving me this opportunity. You are
thank
lovely.
you.
Thanks a
You're
lot,
a
Evelyn.
wonderful, wonderful interview.
Thank
Okay,
you.
take good care.
You too. Bye.